off. There we go. Welcome everybody who's watching the instant replay. We're doing a live show today, the final baking of 2024. So bear with me here as we're getting set up here. It's gonna be a dynamite cheesecake. Just getting everything set here for the live stream. And we're ready to rock out this cheesecake in just a minute here. We're on a deadline. This thing has to be in the oven within the next 28 minutes. So bear with me as we're getting things rocking right here. And welcome to everyone who's watching on the instant replay. We're almost set. Let's get that oven cranked. Start that up. Let's get our little baking hat ready. We need our baking hat. We need our spring form as well. Let's see which one. There's one loose one. We don't want to use that. I think that's the extreme loose one. Yeah. We don't want to use that one right there. Okay. So we're making cheesecake again. Special request, I think, for New Year's Day. It's not just any cheesecake. We've got a special Oreo cheesecake coming into play today. Mixture of peanut butter and chocolate. So I need it for tomorrow, so I need to bake it today. Give it time to settle. Are we good? We're good. Let's just make sure this cord is all the way out. There we go. Now I think we're actually set there. Okay, let's get our Oreos. Now, I think there are 36 Oreos in here. I'm using the peanut butter type today. We gotta go quicker since we're under a little bit of a time crunch. I need some Oreo for inside, some for on top. So let's see how many we have here. We'll get the crust in a second. What do we have? 2, look at that. Peanut butter, chocolate. 4, 8, 33. Okay, so let's do some chunks. Let's leave 2, 4, 6. That's 6 right there. We'll leave that for the top. 2, 4, 5 in the middle. We need more than that for the crust. That is for sure. We need, let's say, from previous experience, 4, 8. That volume's still on. I'm getting the feedback. 8, 12. We need 16. Gonna go at least 20. 21, lucky number. 23. I think 24. Let's do that, okay? 24 Oreos for the crust. That's what we'll need right there. Let's move those aside. Let's get a bowl. We need a bowl for the crust, dishwasher, and we need to melt our butter. So we've got a few things to do right here in our special cup. We'll get our bowl for our butter, so we can melt that. We need 1/4 to 1/2 cup of butter. So we'll get that rolling. Welcome everybody that's going to be coming in on the live stream today as we're getting this cheesecake rolling. I want to make sure I'm live on this channel. We're good. I believe I've got 1/2 cup here of melted butter. We need between 1/4 and 1/2. So let's get that done. And melt it up here. Fast. That should do it right there. Okay, let's melt. We'll leave this at the back just in case we need it, but I don't believe we will. Okay? That's gonna be our minute. I'm using a small chopper today. I don't want to bring up the entire big food processor, so I may do these in 2 batches here. Let's see what we can get in one first, okay? the small chopper. We need power. Just noticed we weren't plugged in. Oreo cheesecake, but we're making a combination of peanut butter and chocolate today. And then we'll see if I think I have enough, we'll leave it just at that. That looks good right there. So check these out, our fine crushed Oreos here. Nice. Look at that. Beautiful for the crust. Let's get a few more. We're not done. Two. I already lost track of how many I separated. I think 24. I think I kept 24 for these. There's 4. So that's 20. That might be enough right there. Let's go 21. It could be enough for our crust. We'll see in a minute. Okay. The Oreo, here we go. Yeah, that's going to be more than enough for our crust. So, you know what? We're going to keep some aside. We're going to keep some aside to sprinkle crushed Oreo on top afterwards. That should be more than enough. That's going to be a really good crust. So let's take some more out. So I used, I think it was 21. We don't need 21 Oreos for that crust anymore. We used to use a lot more. We're not going to go for as thick a crust, okay? Now, our melted butter. We're done with the chopper, so let's move that right out of our way. The crust has to go in the oven first. That's priority number 1. As that oven is heating up, okay? Chopper done. Welcome everyone to the live stream. We're making cheesecake. Chocolate and peanut butter. So let's get some melted butter in there. Stir this up. It should be like wet sand. If you haven't made a cheesecake before, if you're wondering, that's my test. Wet sand, okay? Between 1/4 to 1/2 cup butter. We don't want it pasty, but at the same time not dry, okay? It's got to just hold together when we put it in that springform pan, okay? I think that's going to be good right there. Seems like it. Let's test it. Yeah. Should be good right there. And I'm going to go back to my little extra to dry it up a little bit. Okay. And now mix the rest together. Okay. Set. Crust. If you have a good springform, you don't even need that parchment paper. So what I'll do now is I'm going to bring in, for a little bit better look, see exactly what we're doing here in the springform. Okay. Pop this in. This is where I'm optimistic. Oven's ready. Hack'em, welcome, welcome. So I'm just pressing it down first with a spoon and around. We're going to be pressing from the center out to the sides and then up. I want to try and get it up about halfway up that springform. Okay. Anything we can. And then I'm going to bring in my, what I call it's my broken cup, but it's perfect for doing this cheesecake around the springform. In and start pressing from the center out to the sides. We're going to try for a thinner crust on this one. That's why I held back some of the Oreo. We'll see if we can pull this off with what we've got here. Shouldn't be an issue. This is just to get it started. I'll use the spoon up the sides to thin it out, spread it out, and then I'll come back and worry about the bottom. But we want to get it up the sides first to make sure we've got sufficient and not too thick a corner crust on this one. Round and around we go. Press. Once I feel we're good, then I'll get the corners done, up the sides, and then worry about the center and the bottom. Okay. Good. Now right into the corner, and this will help go up the sides a little bit more. And I'm really optimistic here that I haven't gone too thin on the bottom, but I'm only gonna know tomorrow, because I won't be taking it out of the spring form just yet. So this corner piece is important, because we don't want it too thick and crunchy. Even though some like it, big thick crust, we're going old school here, thinner crust on the Oreo shell today. With the hopes that it's going to work for us, okay? Right now I'm not optimistic because look, down at the bottom, it looks very thin. But once I square up the top, I'll have some more for the bottom. And I do have some Oreos as a backup, just in case, okay? So now I'll start spreading on the sides, thin that out a little bit more, wherever possible here. Ah, there's a good clump. We were just able to thin out and save quite a bit there, okay? I'm gonna crack the window because we're very hot in the kitchen today. Back to our regular scheduled program. Welcome everyone who's watching on the instant replay. This is the final baked item that I'm doing here of 2024, okay? This is it right here. Ended on a cheesecake. We've done so many cheesecakes over the last few months, why not finish strong with another one right here? Okay, looking good there, I think. We've got all the corners squared off the way we want. We'll get to the top in just a minute as well. Square that off. Oh, I lost some right there. I was celebrating early. So this is where we're at right now. Not done yet. Now I square off the top a little bit. Try and get that uniform. I want it about halfway up all the way around. And this will help the bottom. Look at that height, make sure we're good. And then square up and thin it out a little bit more. It's still a little bit thick there. We don't need it that thick. Press, don't be shy. Press away here on the crust, okay? Especially down in that corner. Otherwise people aren't going to be able to cut through it if it's too thick, okay? There we go. Getting there, making a little bit of a jagged line in there. I'm just a little warm. That's why I cracked the window and turned the heat down. We had it pumping well over 70 today for some reason. Keep pressing, don't be shy here. Thin it out, and then we'll get to the bottom. If it's your first time to the channel, welcome. Hopefully everyone's going to have a safe New Year's Eve tonight. That's the night, in case you're watching the instant replay, that's the night it is right now. It's about middle of the day, somewhere in that range. Okay, I think that looks good. Do a little rinse-a-rooney. And then we can finish off the bottom. Let's do this. The bottom is what's holding it all together here. Bring it out to the center. And when it's ready to go in the oven, I'm going to lift it up and show you what the final crust looks like in here, okay? Smooth everywhere. Smooth and compact. That's what we're going for here. And I'm making sure that today's cake is level, okay? Looks good right in there. One final on the corners. Not bad. Looks like that was the right amount of Oreo. We did it with 21 minus a little bit. So I think 18 Oreos. 18 Oreos would do it. Max, okay? So that's our crust right there. Right? It's pretty much finished. I'm just firming up those corners a little bit just to make sure I don't have any big pieces. So we avoid the big chunk, okay? I think we're good now. A little final check. Yeah, right there. Look at that. Could use a little bit more uniform over there, but let's not mess with a good thing. If we've got it relative where we want it, let's just do that right there, okay? In the oven, we're gonna put in the oven 12 minutes. That'll give us time to make the cheesecake. Fill in the batter. Set a timer. Just like that, crust is done. Okay, on we go. So, we're gonna bring out the beast. We need 3 blocks of cream cheese to start. We need 3 blocks of cream cheese. That's what we're using. Okay. Now these should all be at room temperature. I actually just went and bought them from the grocery store 90 minutes or so ago, and I've had them out on the counter. I took the eggs out, sour cream, Greek yogurt earlier on. Those should be good. And when we get the beast, that's my mix master. Little rinse-a-rooney, fast. And get moving. I haven't even rinsed this off from all the flour baking earlier. But no excuses. Bake like a champion. Power's off, unlatched. We gotta make sure that top piece is on there. Hang on. Last night's live session, we made fresh homemade pasta for the chicken Alfredo and with our marinara sauce. So we're good. We're all locked in again. The right piece is going to be in there. That's not the right piece. That's our hook. We need the paddle. Okay? Paddle in. Reach that in. Lock that in. Lock that in. Lock that in. Whew. And get that beaten. It's going to be about 3 minutes, okay? We're going to add in our sugar and cream that right up. Started off on that speed. I think we can see him, but I'm going to raise the height up a little bit so that way you guys can get a look right inside this bowl as we're doing this, okay? There we go. I think that's going to give you a better vantage point. Okay, so I do a combination of sugar, of brown sugar and white sugar, okay? Let's get that. There's our white, there's our brown. We need our measuring cup. Could be in the dishwasher rack as well, it is. Start off with some brown sugar. I do usually about a 1/4 cup of brown sugar, 3/4 of a cup of white sugar. And throughout this process, we're going to have to lift up a couple of times and remove everything from that paddle. Go a little bit higher here and get that off the paddle right now, okay? Too shy. It's got the power in the beast. We're going to use the power. This is my power tool. Now we can lower that down. Rightly or wrongly, that's the way that I do it. Okay. Pack in a little bit less on the brown sugar. I'm losing some. White sugar. So I say a cup total. So there's my brown sugar. That's under half a cup. I'm going to fill in all of our cracks here. And now we're up to just over a cup. So let's start adding this in. Slow that down a touch. Half, and let it start incorporating. Then we know we've got all the sugar in there that we need. Start off the new year, 2025, in style with a sugary cheesecake. And now we can put this back down here. Okay. We'll get in a little bit more sugar. And then we've got the final bit of sugar to get in there too. So we're making a chocolate peanut butter Oreo cheesecake today. The cake is going to bake. You're not going to see it bake because it's going to take about 45 minutes in the oven. And then tomorrow, I'm going to come back on live New Year's Day in the morning and decorate it. That's going to be where the true magic happens on this cake. Because it needs the time to firm up once it's done cooking. Cooks in the oven about 45 minutes to an hour, and then it's got to cool down in the oven. You can leave it in there 4, 6 hours, 8 hours, and then in the fridge afterwards. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Our crust. Our crust is in there right now. It looks like about 7 minutes to go. So we're already creamy, so that's great. We need, that was more than a pinch. That was going to end up being a punch. A pinch of salt, just like that, okay? Boom. Da-da-da-da. Let's not forget our vanilla extract, teaspoon or less. So I'm going a little less in. My secret ingredients right here. It's going to bring the essence to the cake. So let's pause that for a second. We want that creamy, everything off the paddle, off the sides, off the bottom. So let's make sure we get this right now. This is scrape number 1. And that bottom. Got to make sure the bottom, everything is scraped off. It's going to help reduce lumps and clumps of cream cheese in the cake. And then even on top here on the paddle itself, there's always some. You got to get this as early as possible. Get it all incorporated. Okay, back down, lock it in, on. And right now we're rocking on the cheesecake, okay? So I do a combination of sour cream and Greek yogurt. One, that's Greek yogurt. 2, okay. Sour cream. Yes, Erica, thank you. Thank you for the nice comments earlier as well. Appreciate you. Yeah, it's a chocolate peanut butter. I wish we're going to decorate it tomorrow. There's 1 sour cream. 2. And let's go 3. And what the heck? That should be 4 heaping tablespoons. So as I'm working, I put everything, all my ingredients I start with on one side of the counter, and then as I'm adding them in, moving to the other side, helps me not forget to add things in. Flour. We'll lower that speed down a little bit right here. Need a couple of tablespoons of flour going in. That's 1 off. 1, 2. Let's do, there we go. Measuring like that has not failed me yet. I don't plan on it failing me now. Okay. Eggs, again, room temperature. I'm going to give this a minute, then I'm going to scrape it down, then I'm going to add the eggs one at a time, 3 eggs, 1 egg yolk, then scrape it down again, one final beat. We've got 4 minutes left on the crust, which is great. Have a few minutes to cool down as well. I also have to chop up some Reese's peanut butter cups that are going to go right inside, along with some chunks of Oreo cookie. All right, so this is great. Let's unlock. Let's scrape the sides. This is where your hand can get a little dirty, but what the heck. Should have seen me last night cooking all that food. We got dirty last night. I haven't even finished cleaning the kitchen. I tried, but okay. Scrape, wherever you can. Bring back our spoon off the paddle, any chunks that are still there. Off the spatula. Clean off the rubber. And I may be making a tiramisu cake as well in the morning. I just can't do it now. There's just not enough time. Hey Danae, welcome. Welcome to the live stream. Okay, let's go 1 egg at a time. If we can manage to get it in there while the paddle's still going with no shells would be ideal here. 1 in, good. Made it. I'll get a little bowl here ready to separate our egg yolk. So let's just give it time now. It's going to cream up, okay? 2 minutes left on the crust before we can take it out. Okay, that's nice. Incorporated. Egg number 2. Again, slowly, carefully. No shells. 2 for 2 so far. We're not celebrating early, but so far, eggs in there are looking good. And the level of creaminess just goes up a huge notch as those eggs are added in, okay? Less than a minute left on the batter. Normally that's on the crust. Normally that's a good indicator for me is that I can make the batter in the time that it takes to bake the crust. Lower speed. Egg number 3 in. I'm getting the smell of the peanut butter Oreo right now, which is great. So we'll get some of our Reese peanut butter cups right there. So we'll have 2 of those, and we'll need 6 Oreos on top. We'll leave 1 as a backup. We're gonna have 4 Oreos, 2 packages of Reese peanut butter cup for inside. Okay, let's separate our egg here. Get our yolk. Timer is good. Yolk in. Excellent, that's everything. So we basically just did it in the time it took to cook that crust. So rinse a Rooney and get that crust out. Really want to make sure we get that crust. We don't want to let it go. Ah, looking good. Looking good. I'll show you that crust as well. Timer off. Turn that heat down a little bit. That cake. Let's do 1 more scrape right here since everything is in. To make sure we've got everything we want right off this paddle. Okay? So to me, the cheesecake prep between 12 minutes in the oven and doing this, you should be able to get it done in under 20 minutes from beginning to end to get it in the oven. Okay, that's what you need to bank on. Nice little scrape on the bottom. We're doing, welcome everybody to the live stream today that's watching. Now we're getting a lot of people come through here today, which is amazing. scrape here. We're going to do one little final mix. Okay. Lock it in. Okay, good. What I'm going to do, I'll turn that off for a second. I'll move that over there for a second on low speed. Get our Oreo chunks. A little extra surprise in that cake. How many is this? 3? 3 Oreo. I think everybody likes to get the chunk of Oreo in their cake. I think some of the kids will like this as well. Chocolate cake, Addie. Okay, I'll do that. We made some chocolate cupcakes a few weeks ago. We could do a chocolate cake, absolutely. But we don't want to do a plain one, right? What kind of frosting on there? Do we just do a regular buttercream? Do we dress it up with some whipped cream? 1, 2, 3. So now we chop up some Reese peanut butter cups. Remember, these are chunks for inside the cake, and we're also going to be putting on top. We're really going to dress this cake up, okay? It's going to be sugar overload. Okay. Let's see. Let's move this right back. It doesn't need a lot of mixing with it, but we're going to show it to you. Let's do this. Lift that up a little bit. Watch this. Dump them in. You get them all. This just needs just a little mix, not much. I'm not trying to break those down or crush them at all. Perfect, just like that. That's all I want to do. Now we're going to leave that drip. The dripperoonie. We're doing the dripperoonie right here. Okay. So cheesecake, when I bake it in the oven, you really got to learn your oven when you're baking your cake. I'll start it in there between 350 to 375 for 10 to 15 minutes. Then lower that temperature down to 325 for another 30, possibly 32 minutes. So total time for me is about 45 in this oven. And then what I do is, I get a wooden spoon, I put it here, so I crack open the door, turn the heat off completely, and let it cool down in there for about 4 to 6 hours before I even think about taking it out and putting it on the counter or in the fridge. Let's scrape. We did all this wonderful work. We've got to make sure we get every bit of this cake batter in the bowl, like that. Another wipe-a-rooney. Let's unlatch, and we're done with the beast right now, unless we make the tiramisu. I don't know that I actually have enough time to get that one done before we have to go. We'll see. Okay. Got a little wipe-a-rooney too. So this is our chocolate peanut butter batter. So we've got peanut butter Oreo, chocolate peanut butter Oreo crust. Then we've got chunks of chocolate peanut butter Oreo in here, along with chunks of Reese's peanut butter cup. And then tomorrow morning I'm going to be dressing this up with a whole bunch of chocolate on top. You're going to love to see that. And then sweet cream, more Oreos, more Reese's peanut butter cups. Okay, let's show you what we have for our crust here. Let's bring this over. It's going to be hot. Be careful. I'll lift that up in a second. I'll show you what we've got. So this is our peanut butter Oreo crust right there. See that? Nice. It's a good start. It's firm. It's firm around the sides. I think we got it. I think we got it here. I just have to remind myself this is hot. I have a habit of forgetting sometimes here. Hot. Pan. Hot. Okay. Now here we go. This is the money shot. Get that in. Look at that. Chunks of Oreo. Chunks of Reese peanut butter cup. And our cheesecake batter going in. Gonna fill up. Let's get everything. We did all the work for it. Let's get everything. Then I'm going to check my supplies for that tiramisu. We're getting all this out. And we're gonna give this a little shake, rattle, and roll to make sure we've eliminated air pockets if possible. Let everything settle properly. Look at that, we just scraped in a whole bunch more. Okay, good. Let's get a spinner-rooney. All in. All in. Look at that. Okay. Do a little swirl out to the sides. This will bubble up, of course. And I want to try and press any chunks of Oreo or Reese peanut butter cup underneath the batter. Okay, let's get right to the edges here. Keep spinning, and then we're going to shake, rattle, and roll. Okay, now it's hot. You gotta remember it's hot, so let's pick it up. Let's do a little shake, rattle. Okay, that's it. Cheesecake done. Just like that, everybody. Cheesecake going in the oven. Okay. I don't like the way that looks right there. Get that little swirl. There we go. Now we're ready. Now we're ready for the oven. Okay. So I'm going to set a timer as well. "14 minutes. Whew. Wow, everybody in the live, thanks so much today. That's amazing. Thank you. Check out everything here. I'm going to check to see, do I have all the ingredients to make this happen? Let's see. What do we need here? I know I have the cheese. I don't think I have any whipped cream. That's what I was thinking of. Darn it. That's what I'm going to need for tomorrow as well. I've got the cheese, sugar, vanilla, coffee, liqueur, ladyfingers, cocoa powder. Yeah, we've got everything except the whipping cream. Okay, well, hey, that's how it goes sometimes. We don't have everything, we can't do it today. But everybody, thanks for watching. That's the cheesecake. So now I'm coming on tomorrow morning, New Year's Day, to finish off this cheesecake. The decorating of it is the fun part, of course. I do have this we're going to use. Bit of Jello, a little chocolate pudding to top it off. I think that's going to help. We'll need the whipped cream, so I need to get some of that. And I need to buy a box. So we're on our way here for this cheesecake. So come on back tomorrow morning. We're going to finish off this cheesecake. You'll see how it baked. We're trying to avoid all the big cracks and craters inside the cheesecake. Tomorrow is when we get to finish it off, decorate it up, let it settle in the fridge before we have to take that long drive and deliver it, have it with all of our family on New Year's Day. So everybody else watching, thanks so much for being here. Happy New Year. Have a safe, healthy one tonight and for the next year and forward, okay? Boom! Whew! Just like that, cake in the oven. We baked. How long was that? That was set for 34 minutes, I think. It has to be. Has to be. We did well on getting that cake in the oven as quickly as possible. Okay. That's it for today, everybody. Boom. Ba-da-ba-ba. It is the McDonald's theme. I can't get it out of my head. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.